Last year I switched releases. I always used an index, and I started punching the crap out of that thing, and I'm glad I acknowledged the issue, because I ended up getting a hinge. I had a neighbor that actually had a Carter Evo, and he had a TRUBALL Sweet Spot Pro, and that's the one that's got the safety on it, the hinge. And I started using them, and I couldn't use that Evo because he had like a light spring in there, and I pull pretty hard on my back wall. But I ended up shooting that Sweet Spot of his, and it's a nice introduction to the hinge. I mean, you got a safety on there, so I mean, you can, frickin' move that thing back and forth, and it won't fire until you come off that safety. It really was nice to have, and it was a good training tool, and I think I'll get one of those for my sons when they're able to start shooting bigger bows and whatnot. Get them on the right track right off the bat, because I've seen the benefits of shooting like a back tension or like a hinge style or resistance style release. I ended up purchasing my own hinge after I borrowed his for a while, and I loved it. And my shooting, like, I mean, no kidding, within a week it seemed better. So I ended up going with this here. This is the TRUBALL Goat. And the cool thing about this one is you can shoot it in a hinge, or you can shoot it as a thumb button. You press this to cock it, and then you got your thumb button here, and it's got a couple adjustments on it to get it in and out of each mode. And you can add attachments on here, 3, 4 finger, and I shoot it in a 2. It just is what's comfortable for me. I had initially tried shooting that Sweet Spot Pro on basically 2 finger, and I tried 3 and I didn't like it, and if I didn't like 3, I knew I probably wouldn't like 4, so I ended up just staying with the 2 finger, and I really like it. It's been awesome. But I mean, that's the next group I shot right there at 60. The rain kind of stopped, so I don't see any difference in the rain like I was saying before. But I mean, that's a tight group. I mean, at 60, and I'm 100% convinced if it wasn't for that hinge, I wouldn't be shooting that good consistently anyhow. So like I said, that's a TRUBALL Goat. It's a sweet little release. It's got some nice heft to it. I believe it's anodized aluminum on this black side here, and then on this side here, I believe it's like nickel plated brass. And you got a ton of different adjustments on there, like you would most handheld releases. But this is a great release, and if you guys are looking at one, the cool thing about it is that this sucker here it's expensive. I mean, you're talking, it's 300 and something bucks. They'll say it's 325. I really don't know what it costs. I got mine off Archery Talk for cheap. It was like 200 bucks. And anyhow, if you don't want to hunt with a hinge, then you can switch this sucker to thumb button mode. And that's awesome, because instead of paying, possibly 400 bucks for a hinge and a thumb button, practice and hunt, you can just buy this release here. And I mean, technically you'd be saving a little bit of money if you're going to have 2 releases. It turns out I don't really need this release. I could just use a hinge because that's what I hunt with. But if you are somebody that doesn't like the negative sides of hunting with a hinge, which there are, I ain't gonna sit here and try to argue with anybody. It's not maybe the best hunting release, but my confidence with it and the amount that I shoot it is just high. With that said, my anchor and all that stuff doesn't change because it's the same release. So should I choose to put that sucker in thumb button mode and start practicing with it for a week or two before hunting season, I can use that release in thumb button mode. And I have tested it, and it does have same point of aim, same point of impact as the hinge mode. So it's a great option. I just wanted to basically put that out there for somebody that's might be looking at handhelds and may want two releases, a hinge for practice and a thumb button for hunting. You can get this release. The initial price on it is a little bit steep. It kind of sucks, but you know, truth of the matter is it's an investment in your shooting abilities and your ability to possibly, you know, keep your shit together at the moment of truth. So anywho, I'll let you guys go. Have a good one.